Glad to have everybody on today. Hope everybody's had a great weekend. This week is actually going to be a little bit of a short week. You guys know Easter Sunday is coming up this next weekend, so that means Good Friday on Friday. So markets are going to be closed Friday. We've only got Monday through Thursday to trade this week. I do want to kind of cover a little bit of some of the earnings plays that are happening this week. Of course, we got a lot of sectors that are kind of starting to get a little bit of stronger attention. Obviously, we've got infrastructure type sectors and stuff like that trying to pop up, and we got a bunch of those plays that are getting a lot of activity. So we'll kind of cover some of those that look good for this next week. There was a big explosion, I think, this afternoon in Indonesia or something along the lines of a big oil refinery of some kind that exploded. And of course, the whole Suez Canal blockage and all that going on right now. I don't know how that's going to affect economy wise. I know we'll probably have to pay for it after a while. As far as things start jumping up in price, I guess I don't know. It's kind of interesting to know what we're going through as far as that goes. So just something I want to just keep my ear to the ground pretty much to kind of see what reactions start happening. Obviously, when big things like this happen, we don't normally notice the after effects until sometimes up to a couple of weeks or so later. So, just something I want to keep a tabs on to see if we have shortages of something or strong demand for particular sectors because of a catastrophe or some kind of event happened. So I feel like we might have some situations like that coming up probably in the next few days or weeks or whatever. And of course, I want to focus on those sectors that are going to have strong demand or whatever it may affect. So we'll just have to pay attention to stuff like that when it comes up. I do have the earnings report plays posted in the Discord here. You guys always come down here to the earnings report. If you're new to the chat room today, just want you guys to realize we post this up every single Sunday. Everything is done through Earnings Whisperer. He gives a very decently detailed image of what plays are going to have earnings as far as coming up this week. If you guys ever struggle and you're like, man, I want to find those earnings for the following week or the week after that, there is a free way to have an earnings calendar ahead of time. And I've got that over here on StockTwits. If you guys sign up for StockTwits, it's free. It doesn't cost anything. They've got a little tab up here called Earnings Calendar. You'll hit that calendar and it pretty much is all fed from Bazinga, which Bazinga is a really good news and fundamentals scanner. It does pull a lot of good events out of that. And so far they post it for free on StockTwit. So it's a kind of a free way to get plays that are going to have earnings and things of that nature coming up. So obviously we see that there's a bunch reporting 25 on Monday, 63 on Thursday or Tuesday, 40 on Wednesday, 2 on Thursday. And of course, if you want to see the following week, you guys can go through this entire thing and go out as far out as you want to. Most companies don't really give themselves a schedule or an earnings schedule up to more than 4 weeks in advance. So just something to keep in mind. If you go, a month out and you're like, man, why does this play not have earnings reporting yet? Well, there's a rough housed amount, rough number out there that generally can change. So some of these numbers can change in the next couple weeks or something as the date starts approaching. So keep that in mind. These companies will change their dates. It's not set in stone. It's just a roundabout number of where they generally are supposed to be posting on that date. And we kind of play with it because you'll see it move within 7 days or something like that. But just something to keep tabs on. Just give you guys a little heads up if you want to start preparing your plays for ahead of time. And you're wanting to play a certain stock with it, with earnings reporting up in the next couple weeks or something, and see how that goes for you. But anyway, going back to the plays this week, there's a few in here that I like. There's some that are just kind of whatever. I want to kind of cover a little bit in detail on some of these that we've played. Some of them we actually know. Some of them are obviously ones that I don't really know at all. But I may take a peek at them, see what their chart looks like, see what options are looking like. If there's volume there, if there's interest, then obviously we want to kind of play with interest involved. But most important factor is don't be holding this stuff into earnings. Okay. And what I mean by that, if it's going to report in after hours on a day that you're holding the options calls, please be very mindful that that option the next morning could be completely worthless depending on the effects that earnings report would have done. Okay. An earnings report on a stock is a big event. It's something that can alter the price of that stock in a very positive way as well as a very negative way. And it'll really, really affect options in an extreme way. There's people that make a lot of money doing it. There's people that lose a lot of money that don't know what they're doing when it comes to that event. So I want to pretty much heed that warning out there. If you guys are going to grab a call for a particular stock you think is going to have great earnings, and the next day it's, it either plummets or it gets a little bit of a move, and you're like, why is my option not making any money? I'm losing money. Please understand that the implied volatility is a big factor when it comes to these options, meaning the interest for your contracts have completely vanished. Okay. If the earnings report is come and gone and it's not better than everybody expected, the stock isn't really getting much, movement one way or another, it can cause that option pretty much to lose completely worthless in value. So just keep that in mind. I generally don't hold over into the earnings call to hold the next day to see if I'm going to make or break whatever amount that it ends up being. I like to play the perception that it's either going to be good or the perception that it's going to be bad, and play the option beforehand and sell it before close so I don't have to go through that cycle. So just something to keep in mind, guys. These earnings reports will cause perception for these options to play good in our favor or bad in our favor. And we want to kind of make sure we pay attention to that closely, and not just jump to the gun and see if it's going to work out great like that. But anyway, going back to these earnings plays, it's important to get a little bit in depth in it, kind of create yourself a trading plan, if you will. Make sure this chart is going to look favorable to what you're trying to do, and make sure the contracts, especially the contracts, are going to be favorable to play with as well. But first and foremost, right off the bat here, we've got MU. You guys know how good this stock has done the past couple weeks. It's been an awesome play, but they're reporting earnings 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. So right at market close, they're going to report their earnings. Means you'll have to sell these before the close unless you want to go through what I just talked about there. Looks like they're estimated to have a 96 cents per share beat. I kind of go through all this stuff, not really that crazy. I'm just looking for movement. Let's see here. On Tuesday, we'll take a look at the notable buying here. On Tuesday, March 16th, there was some notable buying of 13,000 contracts of the $90 calls expiring Friday, July 16th. So someone, put a pretty large investment in here for July 16th expiration calls. Let's take a look at MU's chart and see what we got going on here. So obviously Thursday and Friday were phenomenal days. We had definitely some kind of downfall with markets pulling back. MU kind of stepped its game back up and pushed up into close very nicely. We actually closed over some pretty serious resistances here. Friday was a phenomenal day for MU. To see how we'll push tomorrow will be interesting. Obviously, those $90 calls are just a little bit out of the money here, but nothing crazy. They got the July expiration. As far as levels up from here, I want to definitely pay attention for these next opens and closes, highs and lows on some of these daily candles. So we'll kind of pull these lines on down here and give a little respect to some of these areas. So right here, I noticed right off the bat, 88.57 is going to be a prominent resistance due to the fact we closed on that candle. We opened on that candle. We hit a high of day on that candle. And these areas are fairly close within margin of that being a prominent number. So 88.57 will be a first area to get over. Obviously, $88 or $87.99 right now is our first hurdle to try to jump over. 88.01 there, due to the close there, due to the open there, and probably some more on the hourly chart. Also, our close there on Friday. So we'll see if we jump over that. That'll be our first initial area. And then, of course, we want to start looking for these next price targets. I'll pull this line on down. Our next area past 88.57 is going to be probably around that 88.87. I'll throw in some more here. 89.32. I tried to give, some of the top charts we were playing Friday. I tried giving you guys some lines to kind of follow. I think we were playing mostly Tesla, some Amazon, and some of the others. So I wanted you guys to really see that Friday to see how important it is to have these lines, know your next areas or levels of support or resistance to better off know how long you're going to hold that play and how short you're not going to hold that play. 89.66 is next. Beyond that, we're going to go to kind of like 90. roughly 90, 10. We've got two lows there. I've got these highs that are fairly close, so I'm going to average it out maybe somewhere around in there, maybe a little beyond it. There we go. I've also got a opening price just beyond that point, so just over $90 should be an area. We'll see if we continue that. Obviously, our trend is starting to show some signs of reversal here. Obviously, we have a downtrend that we got to break through right there. It shows that we're trying to muster some support off of roughly this $81 area. We've bounced really hard these past 2 days. This looks really good. I think there's a good chance tomorrow we'll be seeing 89, maybe even knock on 90 if it really breaks through this tomorrow. So something to keep in tabs on if it wants to throw on, let's say, a candle like this tomorrow up through these levels. It shows some good signs of that. It's nice about Trend Spiders. You can throw the events on right here, and right there it'll put that dash showing when the earnings is right there. I can scroll on down here. It shows March 31st, and it's posting in after hours. So we've got that event happening, and it's expected to be a beat. So we'll just play that out accordingly. So Wednesday, March 31st, after hours earnings on MU with a good potential play there. Some of these options you can probably take a look at. Let's see what option would play with that. MU, I kind of like to play kind of close to the money. It's not something I want to just stretch on out there, but April 1st will be our expiration for Fridays. Let's see here. We could probably get away with 90s. Yeah, 90s got some decent volume. The spread isn't terrible. Yeah, I'd say I'd stick with 90s. They're actually the best ones right here. So probably play some 90s for Friday is what I would probably grab if we look good for tomorrow morning. Most likely tomorrow morning this would be the play as we push up towards Wednesday. As far as beyond this, I know some people want to grab those cheap options and you want to hang tight for them. You can play that. It's just you understand that Delta is the move on MU has to make a greater move because I'll be making double the amount on these options than you will the 95. See, 20-cent Delta, 41-cent Delta there. So I'm going to be making double the amount of money on these 90s than you would on the 95s, even though you're paying less for them. So that's something I really recommend, but you could probably get away with these 95s. Not really a fan of those, though. It's a little too far out of the money, in my opinion. Even 95s for April 16 look okay. These actually pay better than the Friday 95s. So you're paying a little bit more for them because of the expiration time. You could probably this would probably be a low risk option right here. If I was to choose a low risk option, this would probably be the one. 95s for April 16th. So if you want something that's a little less violent, you'd probably want to choose these right here. Maybe even the 90s if you wanted to pay a little bit more. Yeah, these are a little bit more risky or a little bit more violent. They're a faster option. 45-cent Delta, 11-cent Theta. This is a 28-cent Delta and a 9-cent Theta. So this is going to be a slower option, and still respectable option too. The fact that you're giving yourself plenty of expiration time. So if you guys want something lower risk, 95s for April 16th. You want to play a little bit higher risk, I would stick with 90s April 1st. So you guys can write that in your notes tonight as I'm talking about it here. This is what I'll definitely more than likely play. It's got a good Delta. The Theta's a little bit rough, but as long as the move is strong, I'm going to play it. April 16th, 90s, probably even better. Know the fact that their Theta is slow, much slower, and our Delta is roughly about the same, maybe even a little bit better. So, but to be honest, I'd rather pay the lesser amount for the Fridays and still have just as good as a movement as a day trade. Unless you want to swing it, then I'd probably go to the April 16th. All right, so moving on to the next one, we got Chewy. We've played Chewy quite a bit in the past. Chewy's confirmed report earnings approximately 4:10 p.m. on Tuesday, March 10th. So after hours on Tuesday, meaning we've got Monday and we got all day Tuesday to play this. They're estimated to have a loss of 9 cents per share. Friday, March 26th, there was some notable buying of 12,000 contracts of the $75 put. So someone's betting against this with expiration on April 16th, so monthlies. Let's take a look what Chewy looks like here. Yeah, Chewy's been in a it's definitely been in a pretty downward situation going. Broke definitely below my trend lines there. I turned the curve off. You can definitely see it for sure. We're flagging right now. It's hard to pick a trade like this when you're flagging. And what I mean by flagging is it's consolidating between a high and a low. Okay, very respectfully. You really want to find a play that wants to break either one side or the other. And so far right now, this has not chosen the side it wants to break. So I'd have a hard time finding the trade on this. Just don't really see it. Options may not really be doing much right now with it being in the sideways channel. You want to have trendy moves. Like this is a trending move. 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 When you got these chops up and down between a channel for the past, what is that, almost, yeah, like 3 weeks right there, it's more disastrous than anything. I probably won't even take a peek at these options, just because I don't like the channel. If it breaks below 75, I might have a trending move back down to maybe this level right here. Or if it wants to break back up, I might have a trending move back to these previous highs. So something to keep in mind. I just don't like it in the section that it's at. Obviously, being only Monday and Tuesday, it needs to either pick a direction down or pick a direction out of this channel to show strength or weakness. And once it breaks those levels, it's going to fall fast. Breaks that level, it's gonna push fast. But for now, no trade on Chewy. Lulu, another one that we've played before. This one plays kind of hand in hand with Piton a little bit. Same kind of sectors, that sports athletic type sector. Confirmed report earnings approximately 4 or 5 p.m. on Tuesday. So after hours again on Tuesday here, March 30th. Looks like there's a beat of 249 a share. Is what's estimated. Obviously, if it's better, it's even better. If it's worse, it's worse. But Friday, March 26th, there was some notable buying. So this past Friday, of 1,135 contracts of the 340 calls expiring for this Friday. So someone's betting. This is definitely a bet on earnings. So for definitely a possible beat. So let's take a look at Lulu here. See what we look like. I know we looked pretty good the other day. Yeah, we've definitely started this reversal. And again, this is kind of in a channel here. And I drew this trend line right here because we were playing this the other day. I'd really like to see this thing kind of break. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it on watch list this week anyway, just because of this. But I'd really like to see it break this downward trend line. Okay, we've obviously have continual lower highs, so it's in a downtrend. It's lower lows. This may be a consolidation pattern here again, just like I showed you guys on Chewy. It's a consolidation pattern, and it's having a hard time breaking out of that consolidation pattern just below the downward trend line. So very important factor to try to break above that 316.55 or break below the 299, 298, somewhere around that area there. For the downside, the good thing about this is Friday was actually a decent day. It closed at high day. Shows potential that it wants to get out of this channel. But obviously we've had a strong day on here and it couldn't do it. So what's to say that we have a strong day on here? It's actually going to do it, but there's a possibility. Earnings this week could grab some anticipation of the move, push things up. So something to keep in mind. If we do break out of this trend line or break above this 316.55, I'll definitely start looking at that level there, 321, based off of those two highs or three highs right there. And also a closing day right there. I'm going to throw this as an important area too, 324 and 320. Yeah, 328. 328 and some change right there. So I'm going to throw that definitely an important level. There's a couple highs through here that it may hinder somewhat, but they're not really as relevant as some of these other numbers here. 331. So if we break above that line, I'll definitely look to see what it wants to do. 320 calls for this week actually may do okay. Just have to see what these look like on perception wise. But that's not a bad looking chart. It just needs to show some strength above that area. Volume is still below average, so once it breaks above that line, it'll definitely start shooting above average volume or above my blue line in volume there. Should be. Should is it's a strong word. But anyway, let's take a look at options here, see what they look like. So Lulu, April 1st, I'm going to say 320 calls. Spready, very low volume. 325s. 50-cent spread with even lower volume. I don't like these at all. Yeah, none of the weekly options look great. What were those ones that they picked out? They bought 340. Okay, so they got way out. Okay, 340s. Let's see what you're looking like way out here. Maybe this trades differently. Wow, I'll be dang. They actually have quite a bit of volume. Well, that was the volume they bought. Yeah, they bought 1135 in shares or contracts, and that whole day had 1150. So someone had 15 in volume, and this is one person bought 1135 in volume there. So that's why they have a little more volume. That's a big that's a strong bet. What do April 16s look like? 320s. Man, this spread is just killer. It's like a 30% spread. I hate to jump into something when my risk reward is off by 30%. I mean, what about that looks attractive? I like the play setup. I just do not like these options. Sometimes stocks have better options when they're further out of the money than they do closer in the money. That theta and delta is just raunchy. What about in the money? $300s? Nah, the volume's too low. Still 30, still a 30% spread. Well, yeah, that 30% spread is freaking killer. It's what's making it rough on me. If I was to get in this, I'd probably have to make sure I don't know. This goes against my very core of playing, to be honest. April 1st. What about man? I love the chart, but I just do not like the plays. 315. I may just watch this one, guys. I can't recommend this one at all. Their options are just too rough. Chart looks good if we break out of that level. If you want to play options on that one, play it at your own risk. I would definitely trade small. Would not trade large on any of these options due to the spreadiness of these and the low volume. The best looking ones I'm seeing right now are definitely the at the money ones, the 315s for Friday. They're around $10. Why I say they're the better looking ones is because the spread is the tightest spread I'm seeing out of any of them. The rest of them are 20 to 30% spread. I mean, that's a wide spread. The 315s for Friday have the tightest spread, but the volume is only 83. That's super low. So I'd be very careful on it, but that'd probably be the one I'd play if I was to play with one. BNTX, like I said, I got the whole report here from Earnings Whisper to throw in the chat. If you guys want to take a look at some of these, more than feel free to do so. I'm not a fan of buying tech. I'll just take a look at the chart just real quick. I can't say I'm not a fan without even taking a look at it. Apparently, I charted it way in the past. This is my old charting ways. Pull some of this stuff off. See, well, it's definitely got an obvious trend line here. I'll pull it from there. It's not following this trend line at all. Like it tried to, then it stopped. Is it following a longer trend line? It's not following that one. Is it following? No, it's not following this one. What trend line is this following? Okay, maybe it's following that one there. All right. So interesting to kind of see this big symmetrical pattern. I don't like this chart really. It's okay. Shows weakness right now though. If it gets a bounce maybe from that $90 level, or even where it's at right now at the $93 level, it could be okay. Needs to bounce above that trend line because it's certainly hugging it hard. Options wise, I don't know what this looks like. I may give it a quick peek here at the money. Oh no. Hell no, no volume. This is what you call bad options, guys. Look at 0 volume and $1.85 on the bid and 620 on the ask. Even the ones at the money, 4 options. So yeah, shit like that I don't like to play at all. I'm gonna skip a few of these that I'm not familiar with. Candy, I have played Candy before. We can kind of take a look at a few of those options. They're reporting 7:30 a.m. on Tuesday. Looks like an estimated loss of 8 cents. Friday, March 12th, there was a notable buying of 64 contracts of the $5 puts expiring for April 16th. So some monthly puts for $5, and we're currently trading at $5.93. So that's not ridiculous. But let's take a look at KNDI. Candy. Oh yeah, rough chart. We've definitely broken out this channel before. I want to say this was in the EV sector maybe one time, or this was a SPAC. I forget what had my involvement in this play in the past, but definitely has a support right here at this level where we're currently at. I mean, look at that, 561. That's a pretty dang strong support. And why I'm saying that is we had resistance there, we had support there, we had it on this candle, and we're out there a 4th time. So there's definitely some weak side to this due to the fact that it's continually not being able to hold its highs. Lower highs, lower. So right now, I hate to say how much lower this is actually going to go. If it comes on down here to 380s, maybe. There's possibility of that, I guess. Depends on how bad these options are. I mean, 380s is kind of the next turning point after it really gets through that channel. You're going to have some support resistance through these levels right there. $5. I don't know. So the guy on the $5 put may not be all that crazy here. I'm just curious to what they look like. The $5 puts for the monthlies, April 16th. Low volume, 8-cent spread. It's not terrible. It's a little worse than I'd like to, being a 20-cent option, but lots of open interest. This is a good sign. Theta is really good. Delta is not bad. Just something to keep in mind, though. For this option to make money, it's going to have to drop all the way to $5, and you might turn these options into about 100% with a delta of 22 cents. So something to keep in mind. If it falls all the way down to $5, if it does fall to $5, you can make 100% on those options. So one analysis, I guess, to kind of look at if it feels like we break below that 561 level. But of course, at that point, then you're only going to make 10 or 15 cents an option. So you might make it to, you buy it. Let's say you buy it at 25 cents. You might be able to sell it for 35 cents, or maybe I doubt 40, maybe 35 cents is what I'm saying. So you buy it at 25, you might sell it for between 30 and 35 cents. If you don't mind playing something that slow, that's entirely up to you guys. But this is not my cup of tea of a play to the downside on that, even though it looks like that's obviously the leading consensus on that right now. IZEA, confirmed report earnings probably 4 p.m. I'm just going to take a quick look at these options real quick to see if it's worth looking at. $4 stock. You can just play commons on this. 5 cents. That's not terrible. What are they saying here? IZEA, March 30th. Okay, Tuesday after hours. 74% expecting an earnings beat. So the majority of people think it's going to have an earnings beat. Looks like March 12th, there was some notable buying of the 825 contracts with 750 calls. Okay. Way out of the money for May 21st of this year. Okay. So 750 calls from May 21st. Okay. good delta, good theta. 5 cent spread, very low volume. Not a day trading option. I mean, for swing play, something that's super cheap, that actually might not be terrible. You see here on Friday, the low was 26. Okay, so even if you put a bid at 25, it doesn't look like it's filling. The high was 35. Open interest is not bad. This actually has some open interest, meaning there's interest in this option, worth 1,571 contracts. So it's a good sign that there is interest for that option. You're not going to be the only one trying to flip flop this, but possibilities. I'm seeing possibilities here. This one is just as good, if my opinion. You're paying a little bit more for it. 55 bids, 60 on ask. This may be a play that could be worth. What does the chart look like? Could be worth a swing, according to the options, anyway. Yeah. Never traded this one before though. There's possibilities here. We had, okay, I see why the 7.5 is being explored. We had almost a 7.5 push there in January, and that was our last earnings too, I believe. Was it? No. Yeah, it's got it. No, maybe not. November. It's not pulling up the last earnings. No, maybe our last earnings was right here on February 23rd. I want to bet to that massive gap down right there on the chart. And that kind of spaces out evenly with the other earnings. So I want to say February 23rd was our last earnings. So it looks like it gapped down. If February 23rd was its last earnings, I want to say that it gapped down and then pushed up, looks like. I don't know. It breaks out of this downtrend. It could be a possibility, though, for a swing play. I may wait after earnings, though. But then, of course, it may jump up or falter. But not a day trade. Not a day trade on that stock. KMX, MKC, some others, and of course BlackBerry. You guys are familiar with BlackBerry. I'll take a look at BlackBerry. I'll skip the others. BlackBerry was kind of the whole pop craze that GME and AMC all kind of had. They were kind of the Reddit pump plays or the meme plays. BlackBerry was one of those plays. We played this one quite a bit in the past, and it made really good money, especially back in January. So made a big push. It's come all the way back down, but I don't know. BlackBerry, I don't think she's going to have really interest on earnings per se. It looks like a possible beat of 3 cents per share. Tuesday, March 23rd, there was notable buying of 5,500 contracts of the $11 calls. Okay, it's out there a little bit. Thursday, April 1st. Wow. So someone's betting a little bit for $11 calls. Well, let's take a look at BB calls. The stock is cheap enough. You can just literally play commons. But $11 calls, what are you looking like? Yeah, man, a ton of, wow, a lot of volume, a lot of interest. Okay. And the big plus on this, guys, is look at the spread. Bid is 30, ask is 31. You can't ask for a better bid to ask spread when it comes to a cent option like this. It's tough playing some of those contracts where they have like a 5 cent spread on some of the the penny options like this. Kind of like that IZEA we were just looking at, or what was it? One of the other ones where it had 25 on bid and 30 on ask, something like that. It makes it a little bit tough. But something that has a spread of 1 cent is awesome. It's freaking bliss when you're trading some of these option contracts that are well under $1. In this respect of this possible play, I mean 30s, they look good. There's good volume there. There's almost 11,000 open interest. Theta is really good. Delta is really good. I actually like that option. 10s probably, yeah, 10s are less than open interest, more in volume. 10s are going to be a little better actually due to the higher delta. 11s are lower risk, or because they move less with bad side. I don't know. I kind of prefer 10s, but 11s you would not be doing yourself too much of a disfavor there. Only if we look good here. Like I said, we got some support. It's been a while since I charted this. It looks like we got some support. Yeah, obviously right there. We have two lows. Thursday's low and Friday's low was right at 930. So if you were to buy, let's say buy an ad right here, we could bounce. show some sign out of this push up, maybe come back up here to 10.5. There's a possibility. I mean, I wouldn't throw it out of the woodworks here. I'm gonna throw this on today's watch or this week's watch list. Keep tabs on it, see what we're looking like maybe tomorrow morning, pre-market, if it looks good. Riz reporting 505 Tuesday. I mean, you got to realize it's come down a lot. How much worse can it get, right? Unless they're just going bankrupt or something. But chart has definitely sold off a lot. It's about time maybe some demand starts to come in. Still well below average volume down here on the bottom. Yeah, I'll keep tabs on it. All right, guys, that's all I got for the earnings plays. Yeah, I don't have any more besides these. If you guys want to go through this list, feel free to do so. There's all the tags of all the others. If there's any of these others that you like, you can go through that if you want to. Of course, like I said, you can go to Stock Twits, look at the earnings calendar, kind of flip through these and see if there's potential for future earnings plays that you guys want to do. The only reason why earnings plays bring interest to the market is because there's a possible big price action change for the stock, and it causes interest for the puts or the calls, depending on that perception of that contract or the perception of that desired move. So something to keep a tabs on it, and help yourselves for future plays and so on. But anyway, I want to cover some of these other stocks that I've got on the list today. Last week was really good for some of the infrastructure stocks. We had some good movement on quite a few different setups. Obviously, Amazon and Tesla was traded a lot last week. SPY puts, SPY called. Oh, I mean, SPY pushed up really good. We'll take a look at SPY, kind of see how we look like as far as direction wise. Right now, I'm looking at futures. Futures are down right now. So right now, markets are red. Shows that SPY's at 394. Dow's down 100 points. This can obviously change with the blink of an eye. Okay. All it takes is something tomorrow or tonight or some big event to kind of just, I don't know, not really much. Maybe somebody saying something on the news can cause this price to change. So we'll see if markets look strong or look weak, obviously in pre-market, and kind of judge our direction from then on, see how to play it. Airlines were definitely pretty decent. Last week, they faltered quite a bit and kind of settled down at new lows down here. I'm not throwing airlines out the window yet. I want to definitely keep watching them because there are opening stocks. Okay. They are like industry opening type stocks. Apple right now it's testing some lines right now. I don't really have a direction on Apple yet. I'm still kind of watching market weakness or strength. Airbnb is one that I kind of like for possibilities of some upside. We'll see if this one looks decent. Amat is an infrastructure stock, and I actually got an infrastructure watch list. I may add some more to it. And it kind of makes a collaboration of some of these that we'll just kind of cover tonight. But Amat is a pretty good looking stock. I haven't really taken quite a peek at options. It's been a while since I've charted this thing. Obviously, it's broken all those levels back when I was charting it back here in January. But all-time highs on Friday. Big push on Friday. And don't let this fool you. We could push up again tomorrow, or we could consolidate with a small pullback, okay? Things always like to test their previous resistances that are broken, meaning our previous resistance was right there, 125.76. So when stocks break out and close above those levels, I always like to watch to see if they want to come back and test that level, okay? And that sometimes can be a pretty decent add, just depending. So something I'll have to watch tomorrow, see if it wants to come back and test it. Options wise, I'll kind of take a peek at these. If it has options, Applied Materials, April 1st, 130 is probably, I'm going to play a round number. Yeah, look at this. Really good option spread, 250 bid, 265 ask, volume 1700. Theta is a little high. Delta is really good. These are faster moving options, meaning that you see the low right here was 38 cents. The high was 255. These things freaking flew on Friday. So something I want to keep tabs on with some of these plays, these infrastructure type plays, knowing that is being circulated. It's being talked about a lot from the White House, from different politics, from different news sources that this is a sector that is causing a lot of interest in the market. So want to pay attention to that sector, want to see if we can grab some money out of it, look how those stocks are reacting to what is being said or done, and gives us self a better incentive to possibly play for further upsides on some of these because they do look strong. 135 April 16s look really good. Man, that's a ton of volume. Low of 114.402. So Amat is a strong one I like for this week. I'm going to keep watching this one throughout the week. Pay attention to it. If it looks good for an alert, I'll probably alert it on live stream or in the morning watch list if it looks good for tomorrow morning or Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever day it may be. Definitely a hot play to kind of keep on tabs this week. AMC kind of knows the whole fad that is kind of going on with GME and AMC. They made some decent moves this week, so I'm going to keep those on my list this week. Of course, AMD and some of these techs, I'm still watching them. AMD is I don't know what's up with AMD. It can't hold itself up for nothing, but I'm still waiting for this gap to fill, okay? And it's gotten so close to it there. It looks like it may falter its way down there to it. We'll see, but I still want to keep tabs on it. It has been a decent play in the past, just not right now. Amazon, we broke through this lower trend line or this upper trend line to the upside anyway. We broke it and they pushed it up into close. Markets had a pretty decent push into close Friday, which of course I was out Friday. So markets kind of tried to give itself, kind of a little bit of a boost into close for Friday, give itself kind of a, possible bounce maybe. Could be a trap on Monday. You guys know that every Monday and Tuesdays are prone to have be bounce days or recovery days, okay? So tomorrow could be some bit of a recovery on some of this. We guys know that Amazon has faltered pretty, quite a bit. Obviously from down up here in the mid threes, 3150, 3160 range, we're at 3052. We can move up another $100 before we start coming back down again. So just something to keep in mind. That candle is actually a decent reversal candle. It looks like a hanging man almost. Possibilities of reversal on Amazon tomorrow. And then, of course, it may falter on Wednesday or Thursday or something and come back down. So $100 moves are not uncommon for Amazon. It just easily could do that to break back over 3,100 probably tomorrow, actually. If it really wants to look good and stay above this trend line, it could come up here to Thursday's high, and that would put us over that 3,100 mark. So something to keep on watch. Weed stocks, they're kind of old news right now, but they're at important levels, so I don't want to ignore them just yet. I know there's still states being talked about as far as legalization for some of this stuff, so interest is still kind of circulating. It's just kind of on the back burner for now. Of course, Boeing with airlines, bank stocks continue to keep pushing up, which reminds me, MasterCard is one I've got to keep on tabs this week. This has got a really good chart, actually on the weekly when I was looking at it earlier. You guys see how we have an inside week. Okay, this is important. Last week was right here. Inside was this is our week or week before last was an outside. Last week was an inside. It shows possible strength. Will definitely push on up here to some of these targets. Okay. So I like MasterCard for the upside. I would almost be tempted to buy calls tomorrow morning and hold them suckers all the way to freaking Thursday. So something to keep on mind. 380 calls really to push on up there to that target of 383. So we'll see what happens. I want to see it break 368. That shows strength for breaking some of these previous resistances. You guys know that it's got some right there as well where we closed at. If it doesn't want to push above that, then so be it. But 368, 369 is kind of that trigger to be like, hey, Mike, buy some calls, hold them suckers for Thursday. You're going to be in good shape. So I'm going to create a line right there, touch on it, give myself a range of 40 cents. I want a 10-minute candle. Okay, what is up? Oh, weekly is only 30-minute candle. All righty, 30-minute candle it is. Get on back down here, give myself a couple days, couple triggers, and boom, there's my alert. So once it hits that, I'm going to get notified, and don't be surprised, guys, if I buy some calls for this. I do like the setup going into next week and breaking this key level right there, to be honest. Actually, I'm going to remove the alert and make sure I put it on a 10-minute on a daily. Give myself 24 cents, create the alert a little bit differently. See that 10-minute candle when I go to daily charts? I like that better. And I still get alerted on the 369.02 price, just at a different candle. So possibilities for a MasterCard. So I just kind of want to take a look at these banks. They look good. You guys know that these sectors kind of have that, I should say, that dump proof about them. It's not, I'm not going to say they are dump proof, but it seems like markets seem to like them when regular stocks are kind of, struggling. Of course, we covered BB. Now, China stocks. China stocks got wrecked on Friday. BIDU tried to come back. To be honest, that is a pretty dang good push or recovery from its massive drop down here to 174 on the low. From what I gathered, Goldman Sachs sold, I think, $10.5 billion worth of stocks. And I want to say it maybe in some respect to some of these China names that they probably dumped. I don't know the particular stocks that they actually dumped. I'm just guessing off the top of my head here. But BIDU definitely fell really, really hard. There may be some recovery on some of this. I want to see what happens, I guess, tomorrow. See if there's some sign of life, some sign of recovery out of this. We did close at high day after that massive gap down and drop. So there's always that possibility with BIDU. It's been a good play in the past, but I mean, look at this. This is nasty. I mean, this is where we opened up on Friday, and it just fell, and it came all the way back down here, 175, and they pushed it into close to pretty much, make it a green day. They turned this stock from red to green literally in one day. It's pretty phenomenal for that kind of a movement anyway. So watching for signs of reversal there. BIPC, this is another infrastructure stock, one I want to pay attention to a little bit here. I know there's a lot of stuff, guys, here, and I'm not going to go through all of them tonight. I've got a long ass list. I got to go through it tomorrow morning, kind of filter out the top favorites, but I kind of want to just highlight some of these tonight. BIPC is another infrastructure stock. I'm going to go through this bad boy. It does not have options. We'll probably have to play commons on this one. But overall, looks good. Very potential up here to come break up 75s and 76. No options on this one, though. So you guys may not be interested in this one. I'll probably play some commons on it, though. Weezus says go through all of them. Okay. We'll go through whatever we like here, I guess. Blink, still watching this one. This is an EV sector play. Bumble, I'm still watching this one. Nothing attractive about that yet. Buzz, the Dave Portnoy ETF, it's still flip-flopping around with market movements. You guys know with Bitcoin, okay, and we'll take a look at Bitcoin here real quick, but CAN is one of more of my favorite ones to play with Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's up actually this weekend. I'm not sure. We'll take a look at Bitcoin stock real quick. Yes, we are a little bit up this weekend. So Bitcoin did hit my my 51K price point right there and bounced literally right off of it. We'll see if it comes up here and tests this line. I still feel like Bitcoin is going to meander its way to this line, maybe meander itself to this line eventually. What makes some of these Bitcoin plays do really well is when it bounces hard, okay? When this thing freaking runs. And Bitcoin has these runs every now and then, okay? It generally does these big ass runs for, 10, sometimes 15 or 20,000 points at a time, and then just kind of pulls way back and dumps and settles and chops and whatever it decides to do, and then finally builds itself up. It's kind of like I guess it's kind of like coiling itself for the next move over, the course of a couple of weeks, and then it's off to the races again. So of course, 65K, 75K, probably up beyond this point if it actually wants to, coil itself up and continue. But it's been doing this for a while. I'm not much of a Bitcoin guy, but I like to play the plays off of it. Big push, reset, big push, reset, big push, and reset. Okay. And when you guys hear me say that, what's after reset is another big push. Well, we'll see where that push decides to, launch off. And that's why I want to pay attention to it to some degree and play CAN. It really freaking runs when it does launch. Obviously, through all that phase, it struggles. Yes, Clark, you do have an excellent point there. This weekend is a 3-day weekend. Like I said, Friday's closed for Good Friday. Clark says 3-day weekend. Bitcoin tends to like 3-day weekends. Kind of a coincidence, right? Well, people get bored. They want to trade on Friday anyway, and the only thing they can trade is pretty much Bitcoin. So good point, Clark. I may actually add some Bitcoin related plays on Thursday, hold them over the weekend, and see if we get that kind of bump off Bitcoin if the chart looks good for over that weekend. And we'll see Monday morning, obviously the next weekend day or weekday, and see what kind of activity get from CAN and some of the others. And of course, we got RIOT, we've got Mara. Can kind of trade some of those. So 3-day weekend could be a possibility for this week to add some of this, some of these plays. And I love how CAN is all the way back down here to the $17, $15, $16 range. I want to add some more down here, and I may do it tomorrow, I may do it Tuesday. I want to see exactly how Bitcoin plays out and how it reacts. And I'm definitely going to be scooping this up as I can. Caterpillar, another infrastructure stock. You guys may have heard Flat Belt, JSB, some of the others play this one. I know this is kind of a favorite of some of those guys. Very good looking chart. Everything looks great to go up here, break all-time highs. So do not want to ignore this play this week. If I remember right, this thing is pretty cheap. It does trade actually fairly well. We'll take a look at some of these options here real quick and see what she's peaking right now. So CAT options, April 1st. Let's say April 16th. And you can probably get away with, I'd say 240 calls for April 16th. So volume. Theta and Delta are pretty good. Maybe even for this week, if we played April 6th is maybe fairly close, maybe 235s. Volume's fairly low, but it's respectable. You start going out to the 240s where we're playing under $1 options, you might have yourself a little bit of trouble there. 230s. I mean, just look at this. You see how big of a difference between 240 and 230 is in price? 80 cents versus $33. Once this moves, guys, they move. $1.69 to 350 was the highs on this one. Good volume, good, decent spread, actually. It's not a terrible spread for 230s. I'd probably play the 230s for Friday just because I like a little bit more safety. April 16th, I could probably get away with the 240s for April 16th. It's a little bit low in volume, but I kind of like it. 235s. 235s is lower on volume, but it's, and maybe 240s. But chart looks primed. Chart looks really primed up here to come break up highs. We got a nice recovery on Thursday and Friday. So another top name to watch this week. CBAT, no play yet. CCIV, no play yet either. No play there. And of course, Chewy with earnings, no play. CLNE, clean energy, not really liking the clean energies yet. They're getting set, but they're not ready. Triple D, possibilities. Not really liking it right now. DDOG, not liking it either. John Deere, I'm going to put this in the same category as infrastructure and also as Caterpillar. John Deere and Caterpillar, very similar aspects of industry. Pushing up, really nice potentials on John Deere here as well. We could push on up here, I think, and see new highs fairly quickly. Looks like they're short candles mostly on Deere, but we'll take a look at these options. I know she's done okay in the past. Let's take a look here. 375s. If volume is really low, that's the only struggle on this one right here. Very spready options, low volume. Probably going to have to get out some expiration time. Terrible options. All right, let me back things up a little bit. Maybe May 21st. Maybe time may be my my suitor here. Okay, 390s for May 21st. That's not bad. I mean, I'm dealing with $1 spread there. I've had worse. Volume is really low though. 380s, dollar spread again, very low volume, but I like the spread. Okay, no volume there at all. What about these? Seem to be better for, looks like a good 4 weeks plus out on these. That's terrible. Terrible. Yeah, the best ones I liked was May 21st for 390s. Yeah, 390s for a couple contracts. They're low volume, guys. Just realize that they're low volume. You see the lows 925, the highs $10. They're not going to move fast, okay? So something like this is the only reason I'm looking at these is a potential swing. I can't day trade deer, not to save my life anyway. If it looks up here, wants to break 380s. Obviously, I want to see these highs up here around. Oh, where's my line? There we go. Highs around that 390. So I think those 390s for May actually may be a decent swing. If we look good in conjunction to keep pushing, chart is looking prime to come up here and at least kiss it. I mean, worst case scenario is what, a double top? And there you're going to be in the money, 392s. So some swings, possibly swings on the 390s for May. Going to the next place here, D King. Don't like it yet, but it is on a trend here. May bounce. DNN, it's getting tight, but not ready yet. ENG, not yet. ERG, just watching these. Ford, Facebook. None of these look really ready, but I'm waiting for their bounces. FUBO, oh my God, this thing got wrecked. No wonder the pumpers were so hard on this Friday. FUBO was trying to be pumped. So I think it was either Thursday or Friday. It was trying to be pumped really hard. Look at this thing. It fell like a rock. 26 down to 21s. This is another dead play, guys. I think is eventually going to just bleed off to the abyss. Don't really like it. I'm not a fan, but it gets pumped. It gets pumped quite a bit. FUTU. Maybe holding 100s here, low hundreds. Seems to be. We'll see if we get our bounce there. 5, not so great. It's kind of at a double bottom. Man, GAN got wrecked. GM, still watching this with Ford. I do love the way these stocks are resetting. Just poking at it, Ford and GM are resetting very nicely. Okay, when they reset like that, they really push up. Could be this week. It could be next week before we'll get our push, being such a short week. But not a bad looking play. GOGO. Sure, I'll take a look at Rocket and X there soon, guys, in chat. Goldman Sachs, right on trend line here. May try to come out of it. We'll see. Home Depot, crazy moves on Home Depot. It is beautiful to see this thing over $300. For some of you guys knowing me a few years back, I hold a lot of shares of Home Depot from the mid 170s, from a long-term hold way back in 2018. So still hanging on to those shares, have not sold them. It was back in this area right here. Maybe it's 2019, but still hanging on to those shares. And it is nice to see them things over $300. Crazy move, obviously, from the lows down here from 240s. We'll see what happens if we keep on pushing. Obviously, you guys know I'm going to have to start measuring these for price targets. So let's say we're going to measure these candles here. Get ourselves a possible. Okay, I like that measurement. We're going to push it on up here. There we go. So we'll see what our next targets are. If we break through some of these levels, 304, 306, 308, 311, there's good possibilities with Home Depot. I think the options are kind of spready, though. Lower volume, but they tend to do move once it does move okay. Yeah, Friday was such a big move on Friday. I'm not surprised to see actually options got some decent activity. Look at this. 260, 285. Volume is good. Data is a little rough with the delta, but still manageable. 310s. Yeah, really spready. So it looks like pretty much at the money is where you're going to have to play Home Depot. 305s, April 1st. April 16th, you may be okay to get out a little bit. You're still going to have, it's still a little rough, but it's manageable. 310s right here for April 16th. May be a play this week. But I like this. A good infrastructure stock. JMIA, double bottom, may bounce. We'll see. JP Morgan, bank stock. KBH is another infrastructure stock. I'm not familiar with it. I don't know how it trades. I just threw it up on the list today due to the fact it is pushing some all-time highs. It is a infrastructure stock. KBH, does it have options? Yes, it does. Let's see what they look like. $47. Oh, look at that. 5 cent spread, 1,000 volume, low of 81, high of dollar. Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's a decent option. Looks like our core area to break is going to be around this 47. Yeah, 47.37. I'm going to measure some of these candles due to the fact we got all-time highs to deal with here. So pulling it up through here, I'm going to measure them from their highs and lows, opens and closes. There we go. Push this thing on up. Right. Let's see. Actually, I'll put it on down here. Right there. We'll see what happens. If we crack that all-time high of 47.37, then I want to start looking at these pivots through here. That's actually a pretty good looking chart. And those options are surprisingly decent. You're playing at the money though. 48s are lower volume, but the spread is actually okay. 50s. Wow, I'm impressed. Still a good spread. 5 cent spread. Volume is low. Theta and delta is a little bit rough. This is actually not a bad looking option though, guys. I wouldn't go beyond 50 though. Out of the monies are a little bit sketchy for volume, but 47's right at the money seems to be definitely the key component there. The plus side of all this, every one of these I'm looking are, yeah, here's a 10-cent spread. It's a 15-cent spread and 5-cent spread and 5-cent spread. I mean, that's not bad at all. Theta and delta are really good on the 47s. Definitely a highlight for this week for me on as an infrastructure stock if we start breaking some key levels through here. Laser, no play, Lin, another infrastructure stock. I haven't charted this one forever, but I pulled it out of the old watch list today. New all-time highs on Friday. Want to measure some of these as well. And that's it right there. Okay, I'll move it up. And our next targets are going to be 106, 107, 109, 111. See what happens through those levels. What does Lin options look like? Probably more time. What does more time give us? They're a little rough, but if you don't mind playing maybe 10, 15, 20 contracts, maybe you can be okay on these. I definitely wouldn't play 50 or 100 on them, but 20 contracts or less, you'd probably be okay on these. 250 bid, 295 ask, that's not bad. 105s for April 16th, probably be the one I'd play. Good theta, good delta. Low volume, though. Stock wants to continue climbing, though. These 105s are definitely within reason. Moving on to the next ones. We've got lots, no play, low. Low is Lowe's, okay? Lowe's and Home Depot. Lowe's being the other one. All-time highs up here. I've got to measure some of these candles too. Let's see what we get here. There we go. Move it up. There we go. So next levels 192, 194, 197. Man, it is a crazy move on Friday. Thursday and Friday, really strong moves on those plays. And my guess is options probably did okay. I think Lowe's trades a little better than Home Depot, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go back and look here. Yeah, decent volume. Spready, little spready, not terrible though. What about 200s? Yeah, low volume. April 16th probably be the go-getter for 200s. Yeah, 777 in volume. There we go. 20-cent spread, delta, theta. It's not terrible, not great, but not terrible. I mean, these are manageable for, you know, a decent size. Probably those 200 for April 16th could be in good hands. But like I said, with these big pushes like this, watch it break the highs first before getting all involved at the play. It's got to break those highs. If it doesn't break those highs, then watch it reset, okay? They got to reset. You can't just have a stock go straight up without a reset, okay? They have to reset. Tomorrow could easily be that day, or Could be Tuesday. It could make another big push before it wants to reset on Wednesday or Thursday or whatever. Okay, so just watch it closely before getting everything all hot and bothered and jumping into it. I don't know if it's quite puts flat belt. I mean, there's possibilities, I guess, but bullish trend playing puts is not really the greatest recipe in the world, but I have seen opportunities for puts too. Of course, MasterCard, I covered that one. Really like it for this week. Mara, this is all Bitcoin, like I said, with a 3-day weekend. Could be a good add on Thursday before close. MHK is another at-home stock or infrastructure stock breaking all-time highs. I want to pay attention to this one too. MHK, Mohawk, options, 200s, no volume. Piece of shit options. Look at these. Spread is okay. 19. What am I going to do with 19 contracts and 20 open interest? Chart looks good. Man, no options volume though. Man, that sucks. All right. Well, I threw it up there just because it's an infrastructure stock, but options are not there, guys. Just be very careful with that one. Momo still bleeding. Got a little recovery Friday. We'll see where it decides to bounce. Maybe 13's down here. We'll see. MP, another infrastructure stock. It's kind of the lagger. It's not really getting the momentum like the others, but one to watch. MU, of course, with earnings this week. Nail, you guys all here. JSP and some of the others, raving and ranting about Nail. This thing did really good Thursday and Friday. The good thing about these are not breaking all-time highs, but they're right on it, man. They are. I mean, look at this. There's our resistance, $80. We break $80. This thing is well on its way to what, 82, 83, roughly right there. Our next levels of resistance. Watch that, guys. That is going to be beautiful for a play. This could potentially keep pushing up really good tomorrow too. It broke above some key levels here. I do love the way this thing is really showing some strength. It looks really good. Keeps breaking out. It should keep pushing. Options on Nail. This is a home builders and supplies bull 3x ETF. So you add options to that. It's just that much greater. Not so great on these, but there's movement there. 275 from the low, $6 on the high. If you don't mind playing low volume options, those may do okay. But not really that fan of these options. Common wise, this is definitely a strong play for commons. Probably not as much for options. What are these? What are the rest looking like? Maybe Maze. Let's see what Maze look like. Still rough. June. I mean, there's movement there. It's really low volume. I don't really like the options. Unless I'm not getting current data. I'm getting nothing on the 85s right now. Maybe these are all new written options. I'm guessing these are newly written options because we made a big $9 move. Just watch it this week, guys. See if there's any activity on these options. I do want to pay attention to it. Chart looks really good. I want to see how some of these further out options look. Looks like 93. They added new options in here. Doesn't look like there's any activity on them yet. So I'll see what tomorrow looks like and may actually be convincing for plays a little bit later this week. We've got NAC, Netflix, NGA, Neo. Still watching a lot of the majority of these different plays. New is another infrastructure stock. I'm going to take a quick peek at these options. What do they look like? Okay, no movement on these options either. April 16th, nope, no movement. So one I'm going to be watching this week just to see how they react because those are brand new contracts. NVIDIA, Oxy, PENN, and the energy sector. I'm going to pull that up in just a second here, guys. QQQ may be time to bounce out of the channel here. We'll see. NASDAQ stock or NASDAQ tech sector. RIOT, Rocket. Rocket did. There was a question on that. Did you see Rocket close? Yeah, that's a good close on Rocket. I keep tabs on Rocket as well. This is a good Reddit meme stock that likes to get pumped to kind of with AMC and GME as well. That is a decent close. It's not the greatest close on Rocket. I'd love to see it break above that key level right there. 24.54. That is a hard level that it's going to be to break. We're close to it. We're less than $1 away from it, but that is a hard resistance over 3-4 periods right there. So if we break that $24.50, it should be well on its way to kind of be considered of breaking out of this downtrend here. Okay. And shows some strength on it. It's already got a decent close out of it, but obviously I want to see some of these previous highs candles or that 24.5 to 24.68 level right there. We crushed through that level. I think we're in good shape to maybe get a decent pop out of Rocket. You know, the whole mortgage sector of things may put us a nice little low pop in there, something like that. So keep that in mind. Rocket could push on up here and then do another fade off. That's kind of how stocks like to do. They'll like to push up and then fade off again, causing herself a good old descending triangle after like that. Could rebound. ROKU, run. Possible reversal here. SKT, it's sideways for now. Super League gaming with space. We'll see. It's hanging tight there. And of course, SPY with a strong close on Friday. Like I said, we could continue the move. We could break our all-time highs up here around 398. Tomorrow will be a testing factor at 396.67, obviously, and I think we might touch it, may not. This may just be a big old fat bull trap right here too. And may put us in a red candle or an inside candle, meaning it's smaller than Friday's range. We'll see, though. What does a weekly chart look like? They probably tried to make this thing look okay on the weekly chart. Yeah, that's what they did. Weekly chart looks okay. Monthly, yeah, strong on the monthly. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. If we look okay, obviously futures right now are red, and they're, SPY's at 394, so we're gapped down $1 right now. Like I said, that stuff can all change pretty quickly. We'll just have to see what that overall health decides to do this week, being such a short week. Yeah, I know, flat belt. Someone put in a 1.2 million share order at 403 on Friday, I think it was, is what caused that spike. It was ridiculous. I'm not sure if it's options being covered or if it's something else. Target, crazy move on Friday. Target was really nice to see, breaking all-time highs on Target. Whoever played that when that was on Friday's watch list. NFT play. I'm still watching some of those. Toll is another infrastructure stock. It's got a decent chart. I can't deny it. Another infrastructure stock. Toll Brothers. Let's take a look at this option here. Okay, they got slow mover options here. 50. Yeah, they're real slow mover options. I have some rough looking options. April 16th. Let's try monthlies. Okay, this is better. 5 cent spread. Open interest is okay. If I was to choose one, it'd probably be the $60 April 16th. Just by a quick glance looking at that, it looks actually okay there. $60 is definitely within reach on this one. So it could be a strong play for this week. If we break over all-time highs, 59.26, boom, grab some $60 April 16th. You see these where I had a low of 78 cents and a high of $1.38. They're a slow moving option, but they're a good moving option. This is actually a pretty decent one for someone who wants to play a small amount of options that move with a decent respect. That's actually a pretty good one. TripAdvisor, still watching this one with economy type opening stocks. People want to go on trips, vacations, things of that nature with summer coming in. TSM, nice little recovery. Twitter filled its gap, still waiting to see if it bounces or not. URG, another energy play, still on watch. URI, this is another infrastructure stock, United Rentals. Wants to break all-time high right here too. We'll take a look at these options. URI. And 330s, no bueno. What about monthlies? Well, no. Hell to the no. Man, I hate it when a chart looks good and the options look like shit. I wouldn't touch any of these. Probably stay away from URI, guys. Options look rough. Veil, VGAC. Holy cow. VIAC fell like a what? $96? All the way down here to 39. Are you kidding me? This has got to be what? China stocks? Is this a China name from Friday? I'm assuming. I don't know, but man, that is a massive, serious ass drop. Yeah, who was behind Friday's massive block trades? Yeah, I don't know, man. That's an awesome put. Whoever got in on that one there. Jesus Christ, what a drop. VMC. This is another infrastructure stock, Vulcan Materials. Take a look at that one. And yes, guys, I go through these every freaking morning, okay? Every one of these stocks that we're kind of going through tonight, I know it's taking time. I go through them every single morning. Do they look like a setup today? You guys know it's all about timing. If you're catching it for today, you're catching it for tomorrow. Whenever you're catching it, it's all about timing, being on top of it. So I do go through them every single morning to see if they look ready for today. If they don't look ready, then of course I'm not going to mention them. But that's kind of a rough draft of the plays of interest for the week. Don't really like these options here. I don't like these at all. That's I know you got plenty of expiration time there. I don't know that I'll have to watch this one. I'm brand new to Vulcan here, but I'll pay attention to it this week. See if it shows of any interest. Wells Fargo, Workhorse, Walmart. It's still got a decent chart with Walmart back over 135. This one's kind of playing with Target. Some of the retail names. XLE, this is energy sector here. I want to watch this one this week too, with oil being on the rise. And of course, I've got an energy sector watch list here. I'm going to have to probably pay attention to quite a few of these. AR, man, that's a good chart right now. I have to watch a few of these, how they set up. Kind of curious to know what oil is going for a barrel right now. Still shows low on that. Let's take a look at the other one. Yeah, they're still down a little bit. So I'll just have to pay attention to it. See what energy sector kind of gets out of what's actually happening right now. And pay attention to it. Anyway, guys, that's all I got tonight as far as all those plays. We kind of covered all of them, at least roughly. If you guys need a copy of this watch list, I don't mind sharing the link. And it looks like this. Pretty much you copy and paste it. You put it up here in your little thing up here, and you can scroll through it, add it to your TrendSpider, copy it off on whatever platform you're using, and go from there. Any other stocks you guys want me to take a look at as far as on the chat here? Flat Bell says PRQR, big volume on Thursday, nice small inside candle Friday, very little selling Friday, RSI up big. Watching for another move up, possible break over $10. Not familiar with that one. PRQR. And who is drawing on my screen? Cleared it off for you. PRQR. That is a big move on Thursday. Inside candle Friday. That could be a play. You want to see a break of a Friday's high or a low Friday's high for a possible play there. There's a possibility. I don't know how this one trades at all. What do you think of Ray Dalio's comments on Bitcoin getting banned the other day? Wow. I have not actually looked at that, Weezus, but Ray Dalio is someone I definitely admire. I definitely take his opinion. He's kind of a stubborn kind of guy, but I like his opinion. I may have to check that out as far as getting banned. That's an interesting concept to Bitcoin. But thanks for the heads up there. I'll have to check that out. Sale. It could be UNP. You guys know I don't like Bitcoin. Okay, I just trade the moves. UNP. Union Pacific. Oh, that's a nice chart. It's been a while since I charted this one. Breaking all-time highs looks like possibly here. Yeah. All-time highs. I like it. Man, that looks really good. Papa Whiskey. 221s. Let's take a look at price targets possibly. So we're gonna measure these candles here. Highs and lows. All right, I'll check those areas out right there. It looks like fairly respected zones. Go to the 2 minute. Well, how'd we look? Yeah, those zones were fairly respected. I like it. Yeah, 224s, 225s, 226s, maybe on up through here. That's a good looking chart. Very strong close. I definitely would like to see this one continue. It looks like a good chart to continue. I mean, it may have a small reset due to the fact that it really pulled away really fast. When they pull away so fast like that, you will have a small reset, meaning it may follow a trend line. So it could come and pull down through here and push up harder. So just keep that in mind. Options wise, let's take a look at these options. Fairly low volume on the Fridays. Probably monthlies are going to be a better option. Still low volume, but they're within reason. If you play small options like 20 contracts or so, you're probably okay on these. Yeah, the monthly 230s look better. Better open interest, good theta, good delta. I'd probably dabble with the 230 April 16th. I mean, that's all within reason of this move right here. That's a good chart to actually keep in check this week. I'll add that to my list as well. Walmart, yeah, I like Walmart. Kind of covered it briefly, nothing crazy on it. Broke nicely with retail, like Target. To see Walmart come up here and continue this uptrend from its dip that it's had the past few weeks, I want to see our next level break. Yeah, 135.95. I think it's in good shape to do that easily tomorrow. It's a slow stock though. Okay, so you have to take your time on Walmart. It does not move fast. 137s are next. After that, looks like I'm going to have a little bit over here too, right there. 137.41. Looks like I had a low day and also a high right there. Options wise on this one, if you want it as a swing, what would look okay on a swing here? April 1st. I mean, you can play same day or same week options, just day trade the moves there, but they're going to be slow. April 16th. That's not a bad looking option. The volume's low, but you can still play like 50 contracts in there and be okay. 38s, 140s. To be honest, those 140 April 16th ain't too shabby. Theta's good, Delta's good. You might could get away with these 140s for April 16th. If you're a little fearful of it, go to May 21st and hit 140s. Yeah, you're still going to be really peachy there. Upside on Walmart, I like it. I like it over the next few weeks on that one. Snow. Do not like trading snow, but each to their own. Snow has got a bounce, looks like, from Thursday and Friday here. Next level is going to be definitely breaking 242. It looks like 235 is a current barrier that it can't get through right now. If it gets through 235, then of course look for 243 roughly. Do not like trading this one, but I have done it a few times. If it gets above 243, I'm going to say that we're probably going to continue on an uptrend, most likely, and break out of this big downtrend and come on up through here. Meaning this is our previous high. Once it breaks that previous high, it's in good shape to probably push higher. If it goes up there and rejects it, like, comes up here, kisses it tomorrow, then it may come on back down and then, double, triple bottom or whatever, and then continue down. Yeah, good point there, Clark, about watching those with China stocks. Spring's here, snow's melting. SSPK looks like $25 calls peaked up. Isn't this like a okay, silver. Inside day, that's a good sign. But I hate to say it, inside day is going to be downside on this. Inside day meaning that was Thursday's high. This was Friday's high, just shy of it. The bad part is this we closed near low of day, so I'm kind of more enforced to say downside on this, but may hold that level too, though. It's got some fairly decent support at 19. Some levels there, 1997. We say $25 calls peaked up. Weeds map. Yeah, I mean they're a little bit spready than my liking here for $25 calls. May have to watch this one. I'm not really a fan. They definitely have more volume than anything else. Looks like 2,000 volume is pretty high for it compared to the other options here being, 44 contracts, 60 contracts. I mean, you could pay attention to it here. 25s definitely have more high volume all of a sudden from Friday. It's just that they're a little bit spready, and chart kind of tells me it may want to see one more red small day right here before jumping back up. just my observation. X. This isn't X steel, I think. Yeah, United States Steel. X looks okay here. Nice day on Thursday and Friday. This actually may play with oil too. This is a decent oil stock, or in the relation or the realm. It's a pretty good looking chart. I'm liking it. Breaking Friday's high will be pretty nice key area right there. $23. We'll probably head to 24 pretty easily. Looking at options here on X. Let's say we do 24s or 25s. Oh yeah, look at those. Really good. 33, 35, good volume, good theta, good delta. That right there, guys, is a good one. 14 on low, 38 on high. You can even play at the money, and oh my God, you're really going to do really good too. You're still going to do good. Yeah, that's a good one, Ben. I've got to play X. I know I've done it in the past. I've just kind of forgotten about it. That's a good chart. Yeah, infrastructure bill will benefit X too. Okay, good point, Rich. Yeah, I'll keep that one on tabs this week too. That's a really good chart, Ben. MO. Is that all time high? Looks like it. No, it's not all time high. So it's literally at a monthly resistance right now. Looks like. Yeah, it's right on it. 52, 53. That's a hard resistance. So going on this one here. Let me go back to a weekly here and figure out some resistance points. So got one there. Got one there. Got one there. There. just a few up through here. I'm not going to go through all of them. All right, go back to my daily chart, and that'll be kind of my lines to look for. All overall, MO looks good. It's running away from itself though, really hard. Looks like our current support is definitely going to be right there. So let it come back and test it. I'd say it needs to test it. If it wants to come test it and then bounce, that'll be key. 51.78. Altria, what is Altria? Holding company, manufacturer and sale of cigarettes. Okay. Guess everybody's smoking more here. What about that? 52.5, 53s. Don't like, I mean, weekly options are okay on these 53s. I want to bet April 16th or better. Lower volume. That's too bad there. 52.5s. I mean, these 52.5s for April 16th ain't too shabby. Spread a little bit spready, but not intolerable. Theta and Delta are really good. Volume is pretty respectable. You might be okay on these 52.5s, but I want to say let that chart come back and test the 51.77 and then maybe push up. So if it wants to pull back a little bit, don't be surprised. I want to bet after hours that he actually pulled back a little bit. Let's take a look. It did a little bit, pulled back a little bit in after hours, but nothing crazy. Yeah, I want to see it pull back down here to the 51.75 and then push. Just my 2 cents. Any other questions, guys? I know we covered a lot of stuff today. You guys know it's very important to be successful in trading. You have to be prepared. You have to go through this stuff. It takes hours of research, hours of analyzing different possible prospects, and that's how we make money, guys. But any questions as far as different charts or anything of that nature before we call it a night?
Well, Kathy's coming through with ARC-X on Tuesday. That ETF starts trading.
That's the space one, right?
Yeah, so there's a lot of space stocks that'll probably run with it, but
Okay. I'll have to probably keep tabs on that then.
I can put down a list. I bought a bunch on Friday. I can write down what I bought, and then there's some of them that I still like. I could just kind of write a few down in the lead chat or whatever for them.
Amat was that one I covered today too. Is going to be part of it, right? Yeah, Applied Materials. Yep. They're going to be a part of that space one as well. Tesla's going to be a part of it. Lockheed Martin. All right, yeah, I'll have to take a look at or get a list of all those together. But what was that ETF going to be? ARC-X, you said?
Yeah, ARK-X.
They ain't listed yet, but I've got all the other ARCs listed on here. I'll just have to add that to it. Yeah, we got our ARK, Q, W, G.
It's going to be a busy to watch.
Yeah, it will. It will. Okay. Well, guys, yeah, keep tabs on that. We'll post it in the elite chat, I guess, when that comes out. I'm sure you guys will be aware of it. JSB stays on top of Kathy Woods, so we'll try to keep tabs on that space. That space ordeal.
Yeah. Well, and stupid ticker space. That's got third spaceship virtual reveal is also the 30th on Tuesday.
Okay.
So might be another catalyst. We'll see.
Yeah, I've got it. I keep space on watch because that play just wants to shoot out of the ordinary every now and then, and it's definitely bled on down here a lot.
I went light when I bought Friday. I wanted it lower, but I don't like it where it's at. I want it to break above that trend line.
I agree.
Yeah, confirmation going back up.
Get back above the 30s and so on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Any other questions, guys? Comments?
What's going on with the Evergreen? Is that going to affect our shipping now? Should we start looking at puts maybe for these shipping companies?
I don't know. That might be an idea. You're talking about the whole Suez Canal ordeal?
Yeah, because I don't know if I know United Steel ships a lot to Australia, so I don't know if that's going to affect them or not.
I don't know. I'm not sure on that. May have to keep tabs on some of those, I guess. Keep the ear to the grindstone on that. Surely they're going to get that freaking ship out of the way here soon, I would think.
Oh, it looks pretty damn big.
Yeah, they need to call Elon.
Yeah, I need to shoot a couple rocket ships at the front end and move that thing around.
Torch, start cutting that damn thing apart.
I don't know. I just know that's a serious ship trafficking channel. It's a major trafficking channel, and it's backlogging everything. Kind of like I said at the beginning of this session tonight, is I kind of wonder how we're going to have the afterburn effects as far as, toilet paper, I guess, is one deal. Flat belt is, but as far as resources, as far as how much it'll hinder resources, as far as being shipped to and from different countries and so on. If that'll affect, markets on certain sectors and so on. Guess we'll just have to pay attention to how much of a impact it would actually impact as far as certain resources. Well, guys, I guess that's it for tonight. But hope everybody has a good night. Get yourself some rest. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Let's get prepared, I guess, and I'll see what kind of watch list out of the list that we covered tonight looks good for tomorrow, and we'll play it from there. But nice having you on, guys, and I will see y'all in the morning.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Have a good night.